Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. Yeah, very good morning. So, shall we begin the session? Yeah, today's topic is chapter number 8, that is the business processes. In the last class, we have finished with the chapter number 7. All right. So, shall we begin right now? So chapter number 8 is the business processes. Now let's see what are the various learning objectives of this chapter. That means what are the various outcomes that you fulfill after covering this chapter. First one is define the term business process. So first of all, first objective, first target of this chapter is you understand the term what is a business objective, why we are using the business objectives, what is the business process, what is the business objective, why we are carried out the business process. So define the term business process. Then second one is identify the different systems that is needed to support business processes. That is what are the various functions that is available for the business process in an organization. That is how the business processes will run in a different organization that supports in an organization. Then what is the usage of the ERP system? That means what is the usage of ERP system means explain the value of the ERP systems. Then explain how business process management and the business process re-engineering work. That is how both the business process management and how the business process re-engineering works. And at last, determine how or understand how information technology is combined with the business processes that can bring an organization competitive advantage. That means how various organizations can build in the process, what are the various organizations that can combine with the business processes that can bring an organization competitive advantage. These are the various outcomes, these are the learning objectives that is available within this chapter. And one of the main important target is to define the term business process. Now, let's see what is the introduction of this one. So the first or the fourth component of information processes, the information system is process. So we have studied three components also, and this is the fourth component that is available of the information system, that is a process. Now, what is a process? Can anyone define what is a process? And how does it tie into the information system? So whenever we have any processes or role of the business that have a role in the business, and this chapter will look to the answer those questions and also describe how the business processes can be used for the strategic advantage. What is the business process? How it is used? What is the main advantage of using the strategic advantage of business? Now, when we talk about the process, so it is a series of the tasks that are completed in order to accomplish a goal. So whenever we are using any process, that means that is a series of tasks, that is a continuation of tasks, series of tasks that have been completed in order to accomplish a goal. So a process means a series of the tasks that are completed in order to accomplish a goal, in order to achieve a goal. That is a process. And business process is a process that is focused on achieving a goal for a business. That means what is the main goal for the business? That is known as the business process. It is a process that the main aim of this process, business process, is focused on achieving a goal for a business. If you have worked in a business settings, you have participated in a business process. Anything from a simple process from making a sandwich to the subway to building a space that also shuttle that also utilizes one or more business processes. That is what are the various processes that is carried out, how the different processes are carried out within the block. So what is a process? That is a series of the tasks that are completed in order to accomplish a goal. That is known as the process. And business process is a process that is focused on achieving a goal for a business. If you have worked in a business settings, for example, you have participated in a business process. Anything from a simple process for making a sandwich at Subway to building a space that also utilizes one or more business processes. Now, when we talk about the processes that are something that business go through every day in order to accomplish their mission. So in order to fulfill their missions, in order to achieve their targets, processes are going on within the business in each and every day, in order to accomplish the mission. The better their processes, the more effective the business. That means the better the process, the more effective the business. And some businesses see their processes as a strategy for achieving a competitive advantage. And whatever the process that achieves its goal in a unique way that can also set a company apart. That means, for example, if I achieve a target, if I achieve a goal in a process, that means I achieve a target in a unique way so that we can set the organization goals in a process. A process that eliminates a cost, that means that reduces the cost, that removes the cost, can also allow a company to lower its prices. That means whatever the process that is available that can lower the prices or retain more profit. So process that retains or that eliminates the cost and also used to lower the prices, that is known as the, or that is the business process. Now, how to document a process? So every day each of us will conduct many processes without even thinking about them. Getting ready for work, using an ATM, reading our email, etc. These are the various processes we are going in a day-to-day life. We are doing in a day-to-day life. But as the processes grows more complex, they need to be documented. So they need to be documented in a process. And for businesses, it is essential to do this because it allows them to ensure control over how activities are undertaken in their organizations, how these organizations will ensure that how these activities are undertaken in the full organization, and also allows for the standardizations. For example, McDonald's had the same process for building a Big Mac in all the restaurants. And the simplest process or way to document a process is to simply create a list. So what is the simplest process? To simply create a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is different tasks that we are going to do in a, for example, in a day, what we are going to do. That is a different task. So make a list, that is a documenting a process. And the list shows each step in the process and each step can be checked off upon the completion. For example, when I talk about a simple process such as how to create an account on eBay or Amazon, whatever. So first of all, the best example is how to create a Gmail ID. First of all, we have to fill the form. Yeah, that form will be filled by the users. After filling the form, everything is available with the user. That means everything that is used with the users. So for example, a simple process such as how to create an account on eBay. So first of all, go to ebay.com, click on the registers, like same example, enter your contact number, tell us about your books, choose your user ID and the password, then agree to the user agreement and the privacy policy by clicking on the submit button. There's a checkbox that is available that I agree with the terms and the condition, and at last there is a submit button. That means you have agreed with the user agreement, you have agreed with the document privacy policy. And for processes that are not so straightforward, documenting the processes, a process as a checklist that may not be sufficient. For example, here is a process for determining if an article for a term may be added to the Wikipedia or not. So this is available in the different point, available in the different categories. So search Wikipedia to determine if the term already exists. Then if the term is found, article is already written. So you must think of the another term, go to the one. Then if the term is not found, then look to see if there is a related term that is used. If there is a related term, then create a redirect. If there is not a related term, then creates a new article. So if the term already exists, then creates a redirect, or if the term is not available, then creates a new article. The procedure is relatively very simple if it have a same number of steps as we have in the previous example, but because it has the same decision points, it is more difficult to track with a simple list. In these cases, it may be more sense to use a diagram to document the process. So this is the documentation that is also known as a flow chart. That is how to relate or how to do multiple tasks how to do multiple tasks, how to schedule a process in a multiple task, or how to schedule a process, that how the processes will be scheduled in a fruitful manner. So first we search the Wikipedia. It has found. If it is yes, then it is represented with the arrow. Then think of the another term. If it is no, if there is a related term, if there is a yes, creates a redirect, creates a new circle. This is a process diagram for determining if a new term should be added to the Wikipedia or not. Now, any doubts anyone till here? That is how to redirect, how to do, what is the process, what is the business process, how it is used, what is the main benefit of using the business process. So scenario is clear to each and everyone. Next is managing the business process documentation. So as organizations begin to document their processes, it becomes an administrative task to keep track of them. Admin task means how to do the admin task, that is to keep track of them, and as processes change and improve, it is very important to know which process are the most recent. That means which process we are going to do more process or more recent. And it is also important to manage the process so that it can be easily updated. And the requirement to manage the process documentation have been one of the driving forces that is behind the creation of the document management system. So this is one of the process that is used, that term creation is known as a document management system. And this document management system stores and tracks documents and support the functions. What are the various functions that is supported by this? So the stores and tracks the document and support, or so tracks the document and support the functions. First is versions and the timestamps. The document management system will keep multiple versions of the document, and the most recent version of a document is easy to identify and will be served up by default. That is one of the most recent version of a document is to identify, that is how it is used and how it is served up by the default. The next is approvals and the workflow. So when a process needs to be changed, the system will manage both access to the documents for editing and routing of the documents for the approval. So whenever the process that needs to be changed, so there is approval that is taken out for the editing and routing of the document for the approval. The next one is a communication. So when a process changes, those who implement the process need to be made aware of the changes. A document management system will notify the appropriate people when a change to a document is approved. So that will notify what are the various appropriate people that is available when a changes to a document is approved. So if the document of the change or the change of the document is approved, how communication will manage or how it will notify the appropriate people. And of course, document management system are the only way for managing the business process documentation. Many other types of documents are managed in these systems, such as the legal documents or the design document. So other types of documents are also available, also managed in these systems. What are the various other types of document that is used, such as the legal documents or the design documents. So there will be a track of the document, there will be a list of the document that is used, that is available within the document, or these are the various functions, that is the versions and the timestamps, approval and the workflow, communication. Now, next one is the ERP system, that is the Enterprise Resource Planning System, that is known as the ERP systems. Now, ERP system is a software application with the centralized database. So this is a centralized database that is used over here that can be used to run entire company. That means, first of all, there is a software. It's a software application with a centralized database. Centralized database means there's a one database that is unique for each and every one. Everything is controlled by this centralized database and can be used to run an entire company. Now, let's see what are the various applications, what are the various components that is available with the ERP system. First one is a software application. Now, it's a software application, or system is a software application that is used to read out. That means it has been developed with a specific logic and the rules. That means what are the various etiquettes, what are the various rules that is used with this. And it has to be installed and configured to work specifically for an individual organization. So it has been used for an individual organization. It has been configured to the individual organization. The next one is with a centralized database. So all the data in an ERP system is stored in a single central database. As we have studied already, that it must be stored in an ERP system. It must be stored in a single central database. And this centralization is a key to the success of an ERP. So for example, if I'm going to use centralization, that is also a key that is also available of success of ERP, that is how to
enter the data in one of the part of the company that can be immediately available to other parts of the company. So first one is ERP is a software application. It is not tangible in nature. Then it has a centralized database. Then it can be used to run an entire company. That means it is used to manage an entire management operations. If they so wish, companies can also purchase the modules, like there's a business intelligence, there's a planning, HR, everything is controlled by the centralized management, centralized database. Yeah, this ERP is also used to represent the different functions within the organizations. Function means departments like purchase, finance, manufacturing, sales. And some companies choose to purchase many module, other choose a subset of the module, whatever the subset that is used with the module. And ERP system not only centralizes an organization data, but the process it enforces are the processes that the organization adopts. And whenever an ERP vendor design a module, it has to implement the rules for associated business processes. And whenever it is using as a selling point of an ERP system that has become a more practices that is built right into it. And when an organization implements an ERP, it also gets improved best practices as a great deal. And for many organizations, the implementation of the ERP system is an excellent opportunity to improve their business practices and upgrade their software at the same time. But for others, an ERP brings them in a challenge. That is the process embedded in an ERP really better than the process that they are currently digitizing, they're currently utilizing. And if they implement the ERP, that is a main competitors that is used with the ERP system. For example, one of the best example is a SAP. But there is a drawback also for the ERP systems. What is the drawback? An organization have to maintain the changes themselves. So if there is any changes, that changes must be developed, that changes must be kept out by the organization itself. So organizations have to maintain the changes themselves. And whenever an update to the ERP system comes out, so if there is any update, an organization has to be created or that has created a custom process that will be required to add change to the ERP. So whenever there is any update to the ERP system, any modification we can say that has occurred, a custom place that will be required to add their change to their ERP systems. This will require someone to maintain a listing of these changes and also requires retesting the system every time whenever there is an update. So if there is any update, the system has to recheck for the updates timely on a time basis. An organization have to wrestle there with their decisions. Whatever the decisions, or when should they go ahead and accept the best practice process that is built into the ERP system, and when should they spend the resources to develop their own processes. It makes the most sense to only customize those processes that are critical to the competitive advantage of the company. That means what are the various advantages that is used with the competitive advantage of the company that is used with the competitive advantage that is used with the ERP systems. And for the organization that wants to continue using their own processes or even design new ones, the ERP system offers ways to support this through the use of the customizations. And some of the best known ERP vendors are SAP, Microsoft, and the Oracles. These are the best organizations that is used or that is available in the market. One is a SAP, then Microsoft and Oracle. Next is the business process management. That is how the business process management will be used.
Now let's see what are the various business process management, how we are going, or how the organization will manage the business process management. So whenever an organization that is serious in improving their business processes, they create a structure to manage the process. They create we can say the guidelines, they create a structure, proper procedure, how to manage their process, how to manage their business processes. And business processes management, that is a BPM, can be thought of an intentional effort to plan. That means there is a effort that is required by the organization intentionally to plan, document, implement, and distribute an organization business processes with the support of the information technology. That means they are planning out the business processes, they are distributing, they are documented, but with the use of the IT, with the use of the information technology. with the use of the computerized tools, with the use of the computerized data. So BPM is more or just automating a simple steps. That means whatever the organization that uses manually, that is organized by with the use of the IT, with the use of the simple steps that is used for the automation. And while automation can make a business more efficient, it cannot be used to provide a competitive advantage because that is valid only for the manual methods. BPM, on the other hand, can be an integral part of creating that advantage, that is the business process management that is used with the IT concept, that is used with the automating of the IT. And not all of the organization process can be managed in this way. That should look for a process that is essential to the functioning of the business, and those that may be used to bring a competitive advantage. And the best processes to look at are those that includes employees from multiple departments, those that require decision making that cannot be easily more automated, and processes that change based on their circumstances. So based on their circumstances, what are the molecules, what are the automated tool that is used that change with their requirements. And to make this clear, let's take an example. Suppose a large clothing organization that is used a competitive advantage through superior customer services. And as a part of this one, they create a task force to develop a state-of-the-art return policy that allows customer to return any article of clothing. There's no question asked. So that means there's no question asked for returning the values. Anytime any customer can return their purchase. The organization also decide that in order to protect the competitive advantage that this return policy will bring, they will develop their own customization to their ERP system to improve this returns policy. And as they prepare to roll out the system, they invest in training for all of their customer service employees that showing them how to use a new system and specifically how to process them. That is how to use and how to process the returns. And once the updated returns process is implemented, the organization will be able to measure several key indicators about returns that will also allow them to adjust the policy as they require. For example, if they find that many women were returning their high-end dresses after wearing them once, they implement a change to the process that limits to say 14 days. That means you can exchange the dresses within the 14 days only. The time after the original purchase that an item can be returned or exchanged. And if done properly, business process management will provide several key benefits to the organization that will be used to contribute to competitive advantage. First one is empowering the employees. That means employees are satisfied as well as the customers are satisfied with this requirement. Then built-in reporting. Every report is available with the built-in. That means by building measurements into the programming, the organization can keep up-to-date key metrics that is regarding that process, what are the various processes that is used with the key metric data. And in an example, these can be used to improve the returns process and also used to reduce the returns. That means whatever the data that is available that is used in the reporting terms. Then enforcing the best practices, whatever the best practices that is used by the information system, it can work to implement the best practice for that class of the business process only. And as per this example, that is a retail clothing example, the organization may want to require that all customers returning a product without a receipt that also show a legal ID. That means without any receipt, without any billing, so the customers have to return or have to show their legal ID, and this requirement can be built into the system so that the return will not be processed until or unless a valid ID is entered. The next one is the enforcing the consistency. So by creating a process and enforcing it with the IT, it is possible to create a consistency across the entire organization. That means it is also possible to create a consistency, that means smoothness across the entire organization. And in our example, all the stores in the retail chain can enforce the same return policy. And if the return policy changes, the change can be instantly enforced across the entire chain. That means entire chain will be used to enforce the change that would be written or that would be used as the return policy. And the next one is a business process reengineering that I'm going to take in the next class, because this is the opposite of the business process. That is how to re-engineer, how to reuse the business processes, whatever the data, whatever the functions, whatever the management that we have done in the business processes, how to reuse them or how to regenerate them, how to re-engineering them. That means a back process, that is a business process re-engineering. So this topic I'm going to take within the next class, that is the tomorrow's class. What is the topic? That is a business process re-engineering. Right? Now, any doubts, any clarification regarding this module, regarding assignments, regarding this chapter, anything that you want to ask? If there is any clarification, you can also ask it via the, yeah, tell me. All right. So we will meet tomorrow with a new topic, that is a business process re-engineering. All right. Bye bye everyone. Yes. Yeah. Tell me, Joseph. What's your doubts? Yes, we are studying right now the information system. This is the second last module. Last module I'm going to start within, we can say, the next week, after the next this coming Monday, because this is the last month for your session. So last module will be covered up in the September only. Maximum to maximum 1 to 7 means 7 or 8 September. All right. And what about the assignment? That is also carried out, or that is also going out smoothly.